Y'all know the name.
What's going on, guys? My name is Mattinho and welcome back to Football Manager 2017. So before we get into today's episode, I want to say firstly apologies that there's been a bit of a downturn in terms of content over the last last 5-6 days. It is so insanely hot where I live, and my room is toasty regardless of time of year, but in the summer it just gets even more so, and with a computer running and so on, it just makes things so uncomfortable. Right now I'm sat here in just a pair of shorts with a wet towel draped around me. I call it the Cape of Awesome Coolness. I don't really, or I do, I don't know. But yeah, so apologies for that, but also thank you to everybody who got me to 600 subscribers recently, so that was awesome, thank you for that. Also special thanks to Bood of Bood FM, who tweeted out my channel, which pretty much got me over the line, so thank you. I can forgive you for managing Huddersfield now. I can forgive that partially, but I can't forgive you for being a Man United fan, mate. I'm sorry. I'm just not that guy. But moving on. So today we are going to be focusing on our final Premier League game of the season away to Stoke. That is our live com game, but as always we've got some highlights and a little bit of team news to get through. But we're going to jump into some highlights first of all, and we start with the first of 3 straight home games. And it's against West Bromwich Albion at Ellen Road. And it was a very, very even game, despite the scoreline saying otherwise, basically. We took the lead on 9 minutes through Jordan Larson with his 28th goal of the season. A very, very good volley. And then, surprisingly, West Brom actually equalised. Just past the half-hour mark. Borek Dockel with a 25-30 yard free kick that Marco Silvestri had no hope of keeping out, so I can't level any of the blame at his feet there. But they weren't on level terms for very long, as we pretty much went straight up the other end and we took the lead. Jordan Larson once again getting the goal for his 29th of the season. And then with 5 minutes left of the half, Kemar Roofe broke his recent goal-scoring duck thanks to a Kylian Mbappe cross. A nice little 1-2 between Mbappe and Larson, and Kemar Roofe was on hand to slide it in from just under 6 yards out. And that's the way the score stayed. We both had some half-decent chances in the second half, but overall I think we just shut up shop. And it was a very good win. I'm happy with it, but again, West Brom maybe could feel a little bit aggrieved by this one, because, as I said, the stats were so even. Both 18 shots, both 8 on target. They just edged the possession. So, yeah, West Brom still very much in the thick of a relegation fight at the moment, but a good win for us, and it keeps us very much on course for a very good finish in our first season in the Premier League. Following on from that though, a few days later in a midweek game, we played our game in hand, which was at home to Spurs, and we had a very good first half. Conor Hurricane gave us the lead after a bit of a scramble in the area, and he fired it through a crowd of players for his 3rd goal of the season. And then just before half time, 4 minutes before half time, he turned provider. His free kick was nodded in by Pontus Jansson. However, I don't know what the guy on the post was doing. He just kind of watched it just clang off his shins and into the back of the net. So yeah, I don't know, he kind of had a deer caught in the headlights look on him there. But unfortunately for us, we couldn't go in with our 2-goal lead intact, as Victor Wanyama bagged what looked like a bit of a belter, but looking at the replays, it actually took a touch off Pontus Jansson, which pretty much left Marco Silvestri stranded, and that gave them a way back into the game. And in the second half, they came at us just wave after wave of attack, and we held off for as long as we could. But eventually, it was Pontus Jansson who gave them the way back in. A silly foul just on the edge of the area on Saido Berahino, and it was Berahino who stepped up, him dispatching the penalty into the top left-hand corner. Again, not much Marco Silvestri could do, and it was really disappointing because we had the lead. We both had half-decent chances towards the back end of the game, but neither could find the final killer touch to put 3 points in the back pocket. So yeah, a draw's pretty good because Spurs have. I was going to say they've been good all season, but they're sitting below us at the moment in the league. But yeah, a little bit disappointing. We had the better of it. Most of this came in the first half, most of these stats. But then in the second half, as I said, Spurs, they got their tails up with that goal just before half-time, and that gave them that gave them the kick up the backside they need to improve and go on and grab themselves a point. And the final set of highlights we have is from our final home game of the season against surprise package West Ham, who at this point had secured Champions League football for the following season. But it was a very, very dull first half, not much in the way of action, not very many chances. We had the best chance of the game with Mbappe hitting the post. And then in the second half, the game livened up a little bit, and it was actually Kylian Mbappe who got the opening goal. Lewis Schaub's crossed to the back post, found Mbappe, and he made no mistake there. And then 2 minutes later, it was Mbappe who turned provider. His lovely through ball for Jordan Larsson, setting him away. Burke did get a bit of a touch to it, but Larsson got himself into the area, worked it onto his left, and found the bottom corner brilliantly, surrounded by defenders to make it 2-0. But then we shot ourselves in the foot a little bit as West Ham pulled one back. Lewis Schaub did really well to get back in, but then he played just... I don't know what he was thinking there. He played a terrible back pass. I don't know whether it was aiming for Janssen or Silvestri, but it wrong-footed Janssen and caught Silvestri completely unawares. Enner Valencia stole in and pulled one back. They did have another very good chance, West Ham, to snatch a point. Dimitri Payet denied by Marco Silvestri late on. But we held on in the end and we got ourselves 3 points. And on the basis of the stats, looking at it, again, West Ham could probably feel a little bit aggrieved that they didn't get more from the game. But again, as I mentioned, at this point, they'd secured Champions League football and there's not really much else for them to play for, apart from third place maybe, which I'm not even sure they could have got. Kylian Mbappe got man of the match for another very good performance, a goal and an assist from him. So once more, it's a case that I'm going to be definitely trying to sign him on a permanent basis. So following those 3 games, what that means with a single game left to play in the Premier League, it means we sit 6th, which is very, very good. However, it is very, very close with the teams that are just behind us. Chelsea, Stoke and Spurs can still catch us and overtake us in the league, the final league table standings. Unfortunately, at this point, we can't catch Liverpool purely because of a vastly superior goal difference. And, you know, anybody who's got a better goal difference than ourselves still can't catch them because they're not close enough in terms of points. So, yeah, it's been a very good season. And normally you'd say, well, 9th is a pretty good start to your first season back in the Premier League. However, I'm going to point this thing out first of all. If we finish 6th, we get 27.893 million. So call it 23.9 million. If we finish 9th place, we get 22.3, which is near as makes no difference, what, 5.5 million quid, which is a lot of money. It is a lot of money. And it's money I don't want to lose. So today, we've definitely got to win this game. I think it's going to be tough going to Stoke. But like I said, we've got to win it because Chelsea have got to go away to West Brom. Spurs have got to go away to Liverpool. So with West Brom fighting for their survival and Liverpool having a half-decent season, pretty good, there's a chance there. If we can get a point against Stoke and these two lose, then we've done it. We've got it wrapped up and secured. But again, I'd rather go there and get the win. But what we're going to do in a moment is jump into our live-com game, which, as I've mentioned, is away to Stoke City. But before that, we've just got one little bit of team news to get through. And it's this. Pau Lopez has demanded transfer because he's basically not been playing. And you've got a history of breaking promises to me, and I've had enough of it. This is the final straw. I'm leaving you for another man. Oh, sorry, no, I want transfer to a club with a manager I can trust. I've tried to rebuild it, and I'm going to continue to try and rebuild the relationship and try and bring him in because he is a good keeper. He looks very good. His first touch could use a bit of work, but the other areas are all very good. You know, in the right areas, agility, anticipation, decisions, positioning, throwing, reflexes, all these other things. And he's 23 years of age, so he's got a bit of time to develop. And I'm not sure if it's capped at 25 where the development stops or whether it continues for goalkeepers. Because normally the goalkeepers, they mature a lot later. You know, they hit their peak a lot later. So you're looking maybe 30 up to 32. 30 to like 34 perhaps is where a goalkeeper's peak is. But again, I could be wrong. I don't know whether it's just blanketed that 25 is when players will stop developing across the board, if that makes sense. But yeah, disappointing. But again, I'm going to try. But if it gets to, say, the start of August and he's still not happy, then I'm going to try and flog him and get at least 5 million quid for him because he's talented. We paid what? I don't know how much we paid. 1.4 million quid for him. So I'm going to make a profit on him. That's got to happen. I'm going to make a profit on him. If he wants to go, then he can go. But I'm going to make a profit on him. So yeah, disappointing, but we'll see what we can do. So now we're going to jump into today's livecom game, which, as I've mentioned, is away to Stoke City in the Premier League, and it's our final home game of the season. And this one takes on a lot of significance. There's a lot of different factors in this game which make this a very, very special game. One, it's our last league game of our maiden campaign in the Premier League. Two, if we win this game, we'll finish 6th, which is a very, very good position to finish in your first season back in the big time. There's a couple of other bits which I'm going to get into in a second, but we're going to take a look at the recent form and all the other stats. So recent form at home, it's been very good. They've won their last 2 games against Bournemouth and Hull, which they're not done brilliantly this season, but a win is a win. Away from home, they've lost each and every game. So I'm thinking because they had a very good start, and they were very much in contention along with the likes of West Ham and Man City and Man United and so on for Champions League football for next season, but they've dropped off towards the second half of the season. I know Mario Balotelli had a good start and then he picked up an injury, so that may have factored into it. In terms of the key employees, Mark Hughes is still the manager. Ryan Shawcross is still the captain, with Glenn Whelan as the vice captain. Gianelli and Bueller, who I believe is their record signing. I think they paid 13 odd million quid for him. He is the key player, and their hot prospect is Thibault Verlinden. That's a bit of a mouthful. So yeah, like I said, this game takes on a lot of special significance, and it's going to be a very, very tough game because Stoke City haven't lost at home in the Premier League all season. So I'm determined to change that, because not only does it give us the chance of finishing in 6th place, which is, as I've said, a very, very good place to finish in your first season, this will also be my 100th game in Football Manager. So I'd like to win it. And then we'll take a look in the end of season review. We'll take a look at the stats and so on, in terms of win percentages and all that. Also, another thing I want to point out quickly is that as things stand, Jordan Larson is the top goal scorer in the Premier League. Now, Alexis Sanchez has been out with injury for 2 or 3 weeks. He picked up an ankle injury, I'm not sure when, but he leads by 1 goal. So hopefully he can get himself on the score sheet and secure the golden boot, because that would be absolutely insane. If he was to win that and Kylian Mbappe was to get the most assists for the season, then I would consider that a very, very successful first term back in the Premier League. So there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of deciding factors. Another thing I want to point out: second half of the season, if it was based on that, we'd be 2nd. We've been absolutely on it second half of the season. So we're in very, very good form at the moment. I think in our last 5 or 6 Premier League games, we've won 4, lost 1, and drawn 1. So we've got very good form going into this game. Second half of the season, we've been very, very good. But as I've mentioned, with the home record, Stoke City are the only team not to have lost a home game. 0 games lost, and they've only conceded 5 goals at the Bet365 Stadium all season. So it is going to be a very, very tough game. But what I'm going to do now is I am going to jump into the game. We'll take a look at the teams, and then we'll get the final Premier League game of the season up and running. So here we are then, guys, and here are the teams. And we'll start off with the home side first of all. So Butland in goal, with Glenn Johnson at right back and Eric Peters at left back. Ruiz and Shawcross forming the rest of the defence. Arnautovic on the right, Shaqiri on the left, with Imbula and Allen in the centre of midfield. And then we've got Marco van Ginkel, who I actually tried to sign on loan at the start of the season, sitting behind Mario Balotelli. Why always me? Why always me? He started up front, and hopefully we can keep him under lock and key. The bench, I'm not going to run through all of it, but they do have some fairly half-decent names on there. Muniesa and Bojan are on the bench. Sergio Leon, who's a player I looked at as well before Stoke picked me to the post. For ourselves, though, it's fairly straightforward side. Silvestri in goal, Ferrani on the right of defence, Xavi on the left, with Janssen and Bartley in the centre of the defence, that is. Hurricane is partnered by Ronaldo Vieira, and I've done that because Liam Bridcut's on a yellow, and if he picks up a booking, then he's going to get a 3-match suspension. So he's not even on the bench, and he hasn't been for the last 3 games. So I'm not going to risk him, because more than likely he is going to be starting in the FA Cup final. Mbappe on the right side, Schaub on the left, with Roof and Larson up top as per usual. The only change to the bench from what would be the normal bench, I suppose, is that Mikel comes in because obviously there's no Liam Bridcut, so everybody shifts. So Mikel's on the bench and Ronaldo Vieira starts. In terms of the odds, Stoke, perhaps quite rightly, are the favourites. They haven't been beaten at home all season, and it is going to be a very difficult game, while we're at 13-8. The key man for Stoke is Shaqiri. I probably agree with that. Very good player, former Bayern Munich, of course. And for ourselves, it's Lewis Schaub, who he's been in pretty good form recently. Bit up and down every now and again, but he's had a pretty good season and he's been in pretty good form lately. The status thing is wrong. We can't get 5th, so ignore that. But Stoke can get 6th if they win today, and Chelsea and possibly Spurs lose. But if Chelsea lose and they win, then they will definitely get 6th, and we could drop as far as 9th. In terms of the instructions, I'm not going to change it. There is a temptation to put it on Joe Allen because he is carrying a bit of an injury at the moment. He's got a potential head injury. Don't know what a potential head injury. Well, you could have a concussion, but you could not. Who knows? Mysteries. But I think I'll leave it as it stands. They've also got Muniesa, who's on the bench, and he's got a bit of an injury at the moment. For the instructions, or for the team talk, I'm going to just be calm and tell them just to keep this run of form going. That's okay, I'm happy with that. I will also apply a bit of calm faith as well, just to make sure everybody, we've got a nice little sea of green there, as G and Loki Doki like to say. But there we go, that's all set up and ready to go, so let's get things started, shall we? At the Bet365 Stadium. God, I can't speak today. So hot, I can't speak. I'm literally sat in my shorts with a wet towel draped around me. That is how hot it is. As we get things kicked off. And here's Vieira going back to Bartley. Probably a nothing opening highlight, but I will take... No, okay, we won't. Okay, so first proper highlight with just under 3 minutes gone. Janssen makes a good tackle there. Here's Roof. Can we perhaps get an early goal, which I think is going to be key now, of course. Whew. It looks like it's going to be one of those games where people are tripping over their own feet and shoelaces and wearing the slippers. As Bartley goes long to no one in particular. Here's Mbula now. Make a tackle, Vieira. Don't just shadow him. Good boy. Nice block. Oh, back heel to Van Ginkel. Here's Balotelli. Oh, and a brilliant save from Silvestre. Stoke applying the early pressure, but Silvestre is equal to it. It wasn't right in the corner because I don't think Silvestre would have got to it as the corner comes in. And Janssen puts it out for another corner. So Stoke have started well here. We're going to have to be wary. Again, like I said, I can't speak. It's just so hot. My brain won't function. And, you know, I've never been able to fully explain myself in this climate. Good save by Silvestre again. And it's another corner. I've got a nice cold drink on the go. Nice can of J2O. And it goes in towards the centre, and Silvestre comes and gets it. Good boy. Okay, so another highlight. Here's Faraoni. And he just hits it right against. I don't know whether he was trying to meg him or what, but he didn't work. Here's Balotelli now with the shots, and it's just over the bar. I think Silvestre had that covered though. So another highlight. Here's Silvestre going short to Faraoni. Can we maybe get our first proper highlight of the game for ourselves, that is? Here's Mbappe. Oh, he's beat one. And he's tackled, crowded out. No support. No passes on. Here's Mbula to Van Ginkel. Goes to Balotelli again. Back to Van Ginkel. Oh, it's a good tackle there from Bartley and Faraoni. And it's cleared. Shawcross gets up well though. Hurricane wins it. But it's coming back again. Got to get this ball on the floor. Stop keep nodding it around when you've got time to bring it down. There's Mbula. Good tackle from Vieira, and now Mbappe can hopefully get us away on a counter-attack. That's a good ball to Roof. Got Larson with a bit of space. Can he get a cross in maybe, or can he have a shot himself? He does, and it's just over the bar. Ooh, we're getting closer though. So it's a free kick, and it's Xavi to take it, and it's got in top corner. Do you expect anything less from him from free kicks? Xavi again, up to his old tricks, and it's 1-0 with just over 10 minutes of the half left. And that's just Xavi territory. I think that's what we call it, Xavi territory. And a bit of a dumb decision to put the shortest guys on the pitch on the end of the wall that he's probably going to be aiming for. Xavi, 4th goal of the season. Stoke 0, Leeds 1, and we're on our way. Let's just hope we can get to half-time with the lead intact, though. And there's half-time. So, Stoke have had chances. They've probably been the better side, but like I said, if you're going to give free kicks away in silly areas and put it to Xavi territory, then he's going to punish you. So I'm just going to tell him to be tell them there's room for improvement, because I believe there is. Jordan Larson needs to get his thumb out if he wants to win that golden boot. But apart from that, I don't think there's much I want to say. I think I might just give them a little pep talk there, and let's just hope we can carry on and get a second goal and put this game to bed and consign Stoke to their first home defeat of the season. It's going to be them to get kicked off. Hopefully a very quick opening highlight, which basically shows absolutely nothing happening. Is Shaqiri trying to get the better of Ferran. He goes for a cross and it's a corner. I very rarely get opening highlights where there's goals. But the other side, of course, when it gets up and Schaub clears it, and here's Hurricane as a foul, ref, thank you. And that'll probably be the end of that. Or is Shaqiri going in the... No, Shaqiri goes in the book. Maybe that will be the end now. So, just over 7 minutes of the half gone. Here's Hurricane on the ball. Goes to Roof. A lovely ball through to Jordan Larson. And it's 2-0. That's a brilliant finish. 31st goal of the season. 22nd goal in the league. And other good news, West Brom have equalised against Chelsea, so 6th place is getting closer and closer. He's definitely onside. He's been played on by Johnson, I think it is. And the finish, absolutely brilliant. Keeper's not getting to it. Stoke 0, Leeds 2, and we are on our way to 6th position. Woohoo! Okay, so we've got about 20 minutes left to go. Score is still 2-0. But I would like a third goal. I'm greedy that way. I would like a third. Here's Roof. Can he uncork one from distance, perhaps? No, he's tackled by Van Ginkel. Here's Peters. Goes to the centre. I've given him a cheeky calm concentrate, as Loki Doki and G like to say. Long ball forward looking for Sergio Leon. Bartley gets him well though. Here's Vieira. Can he bring it out maybe? He's got Mbappe in support. Don't lose that ball there. Whatever you do, don't lose it there. Vieira goes long and he finds Kemar Roof. He's got Larson in support. Lovely ball. Can Larson finish it? He can. Oh, that's a brilliant finish again. And it's 3-0, and that's surely now secured the 6th place for us. And it's surely also secured Jordan Larson as the Golden Boot winner. So it's a nice little cheeky ball through to Jordan Larson. He's very much onside. It's from a very tight angle. And if I was Mark Hughes now, I'd be really annoyed. Oh, he just... I put my hand out. He doesn't do anything. You can't see what I'm doing, but just leaning across my chair. Stoke 0, Leeds 3. And we're on our way to 3 points. Oh, 13 minutes gone. So 13 minutes remaining. We're not going back in time. And, Silvestri just does the same thing Butler does. Just leans down. And it's Mami Diouf, who pulls one back. Still time for Stoke to maybe snatch a point, but I think we're going to tighten up, and I'm probably going to make some substitutions. So Peters goes into the centre. The marking is not very good. And look, Silvestri, what are you doing? You prat. Stoke 1, Leeds 3, and is a revival on the cards. We've got 8 minutes left, and I'm going to make some changes because Hurricane is looking tight, so I'm going to bring John Obi-Mikel on just to give us that little bit more extra security with both of these playing deep line playmakers in the defend duty. I don't know if I want to. I don't think I want to make any more changes. I haven't got anybody I can bring on for Ronaldo Vieira, who's looking a little bit tired. So we'll leave it at that. Just John Obi-Mikel coming on for Conor Hurricane, and hopefully we can hold out and get the win. So final 20 seconds of the game. The substitution had the desired effect. It seemed to have shut the game out. Stoke maybe can pull another one back, a late consolation, but I can't see them getting to the end of the season, which is about, 3, 2, 1. Blow the whistle, ref. Thank you. Yes! 6th place secured. Kemar Roof, man of the match with 2 assists. Jordan Larson with 2 goals, and Xavi got us on our way with a brilliant free kick once again. A very good win. It was. Stoke had the better of the first half, I will admit that, but second half we turned the volume up a little bit on them, and we got the 2 goals we needed to round the game out. They did pull one back, of course, But overall, very good performance, especially from these two. And I've been thinking about potentially getting another striker, but if these two play like that for the entirety of next season, I don't think I need one, if I'm being blatantly honest. But a good result. But there are other things to look at, and Manchester City finished as champions. They went into the final game with a chance that Man United could overhaul them. Man United beat Palace by 3-0, and Man City, by the same scoreline, beat Bournemouth. In terms of the relegation, QPR and Swansea both go down because West Brom, as I mentioned during the commentary, they pulled an equaliser out against Chelsea. It was Borak Dokul, again, with probably a free kick because he scored one against us a little bit earlier. We saw in the highlights, of course. But yeah, we finished 6th. Very good result, very good end of the season, I think. But it could get better, because we do have another game left to go. The FA Cup final, and Man City do the double. Why have they done the double? What have they won? What else have they won? I know they've won this, but it could be the Community Shield, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't really count the Community Shield as a trophy, per se, because you don't really have to do much to get it. Okay, that's probably wrong. You do have to do quite a lot to get into the Community Shield, but I don't really count it as a thing. It's just a friendly with a trophy involved. But there we go. 27 of 28 million quid for finishing in 6th place, which is very good, and that will help us no end. Curtain comes down on the Premier League. Let's just take a look though at the overview. Sorry, the player overview. And yeah, Alexis Sanchez did get on the score sheet, but Jordan Larson, with his 2 goals, secured it. Jordan Larson finishes as the top goal scorer in the Premier League. And Kylian Mbappe and Kemar Roofe finishes first and second in the assist chart as well. I would say that's a very successful season. You know, considering that I've got Mbappe on loan and I'm going to try and sign him. Roofe has come up, didn't start very well, but has had a very good season towards the last, I'd say 3/4 of the season, last half, 3/4 of the season. And Larson, 1.5 million quid I paid for him, I think. Yep. And he scored 32 goals in 48 appearances. And when you look at the rest of the things here, like Helsingborg's, he only scored 3 in 25. He scored 3 in 12 there. He's just taken to the Premier League like a duck to water, really, hasn't he? So, very, very good season. Now, there will be an end of season review where we look at things a little bit more in depth. But next time out, we've got the FA Cup final at Wembley Stadium against the scumbags of Manchester United. So hopefully, if you haven't already, make sure you go and subscribe. If you've enjoyed today's video, make sure you hit that like button to support me and my channel. It's always appreciated. And if you want more Football Manager content, in the description of this video, there is a list of some awesome Football Manager content creators, not only YouTube, but there's a couple of blog things in there. There's a Twitch channel also, I think, if I remember correctly. So go check them out. There's some awesome guys in there. GWFM is one you know about already. Bood, who I can kind of forgive him for being, as I said earlier, I think, for managing Huddersfield, the dog botherers, because he helped me get over the 600 subscriber mark. So thank you. So go check his channel out, because he's doing, I don't think he's doing Huddersfield anymore, but he is doing an awesome plan with Bayern Munich, a really cool experiment with them, so go check them out. Also other guys like the Don, Fried Badger, there's so many names and so little time to say them all. The Don, I will say, I haven't said anything about this, but he kind of reminds me of Carl Frampton, the boxer. I don't know why. I think it's just the accent, but he kind of looks a little bit like Carl Frampton. So if you're a Carl Frampton fan, go check him out, because he's doing a Blackburn save, and it's very, very good. But again, thanks guys for watching. Take care, and next time out, we got this bunch of shit houses to play, and the FA Cup final is going to be a big one. Peace.